Chantel. I am excited for episode 3 of this week of my 1 week challenge of posting a book review each day. And so tonight we will be talking about Jane Harper's The Survivors. This novel was very, very good. I definitely recommend that you read it. There's also a 6-part limited series on Netflix that came out this past summer, so June of 2025, based off of Jane Harper's writings. It is good as well. I am always going to be a proponent for reading the book first, but just in case you're not a reader and you don't want to read the book, but you do want to check out the story, check it out on Netflix. It's out. Tell me what you think about it. If you are a reader of books, I think you definitely should read the book first and then watch the show, because it is going to fill in some of those gaps for you, or some of the inner dialogue that happens in books that they can't necessarily capture on film. But we're going to jump right into it. So I do have my peppermint tea tonight, so definitely join me. Go get your glass of wine, your glass of tea, your water. Let's sip and let's talk about Jane Harper's The Survivors. And so first off, the themes for this book is definitely going to be guilt and redemption. So a lot of plays here on people's guilt, decisions, the past, the present, how that's going to impact their future. So lots of themes of guilt and redemption in this particular story. And so Jane Harper's The Survivor is going to take you to a small coastal town. So as you can see, even from like the little, cover here, it is going to be a beach town. And as you might imagine, most beach towns do have a tourist concept or season to it. And so it's going to talk about that a lot, right? About the tourists versus those who were born there. Versus people who move into the town, as well as just kind of their dynamic, right? So when you have the tourists come in, the people who live there kind of, resent them a little bit because they get to come here and spend money and, enjoy all the fruits of their labor, and they kind of take for granted some of the things that the town has to offer. And so you're going to see, loyalties being tested, because you have like your summer kids, and then you have your locals, as well as just a slow burn mystery of who done it, right? Because it's going to take you to the past and tell you this story about something that happened that has shaped a lot of people's lives that are locals there in the town, as far as why they behave, why they don't speak to each other, why they don't go to this particular restaurant, who goes to what church, who married who. All of those dynamics hinge on this one particular day or evening that a tragedy happened. And so the story, they're the protagonist or the antagonist, however you want to see it. The main character is Kieran. He's a young man. He's returning home. He's now married. He has a daughter. And so you get to see his dynamic play out in his family, right? Because this tragedy impacted his family directly. And so you get to see him kind of try to come back for redemption. His dynamic with his mom, which isn't great. His dad, who starts suffering from dementia at this time. And anyone who has had a family member to suffer with dementia or Alzheimer's, you understand kind of how hard that is to deal with, as well as come to grips with, you may never get the answers that you are seeking from that person, because they are no longer, 100% themselves, 100% there or aware of what's happening to them. And so you get to see that dynamic played out with Kieran and his parents, as well as the secrets that they harbor between each other, and the resentment that has now surfaced because of the tragedy and the secrets. And so on his return, it stirs up old wounds. It stirs up, old feelings about the tragic storm that happened in the past. And then when another body is discovered while he's there, so while he and his wife are there visiting and on vacation, another body is discovered. And of course, the immediate reaction is, does this have something to do with Kieran? Does this have something to do with his family, with the friend group? Because it's so similar, right? And it's like, here we go again. And so, long truths and secrets and all of that comes into play with his friend group, because they were in high school when this initial tragedy happened. And then they start to pick away at parts of the story, right? Like, was this person innocent, or did this person do this to themselves? Who knew that this person was going out on the boat? Were they meeting someone? Were they not? We found the backpack. We didn't find this in the backpack. Here's the camera. And even, tourists get involved in this kind of murder mystery story that makes the town a little bit infamous. And so another theme or takeaway from the book is going to be community and memory, right? So as I mentioned, the dad having Alzheimer's, he remembers some things, he starts blurting out some things, and people don't know, should we take it for face value or should we not? And then, of course, nature in and of itself, with this being a coastal town, the beach plays a huge part as far as like, this is where, people went to relax. This is where people went to be tourists. This is where the kids went to have fun. So just nature and the themes of like a storm rolling in or a storm brewing kind of a, make a major part of this story. And so it's not lost on me that the story was about survival as well, right? So making decisions based off of surviving. And so my thoughts is that it's a fast-paced thriller, it's a reflective mystery, as well as cinematic, given that it is now on Netflix. And so for readers who do love murder mysteries, emotional depth, family dynamics, politics, as well as a good story that has a proper ending. I would like to say a proper ending where you do find out who did it and why. This will be a great story. So my rating for this particular book is a 4 out of 5. Beautiful scenery. When you think about the imagination and just this coastal town of Tasmania, and the people and the tourists coming in. So definitely beautifully written. And it was a story that lingered with me for a while. And so I was very happy and excited when they did come out with a Netflix series for this particular book. And so definitely, if you are, again, a fan of murder mysteries, I do recommend this book. So Jane Harper, The Survivors, check it out on Netflix. Meet me down in the comments. Let me know what you think about the story. If you do watch the Netflix series, did you like it? Did you not like it? Let's just talk about it, all right? So until next time, I'll see you later.